Yo, what's going on, Rise fam? Welcome to another episode of On the Rise. We are so happy to be with you again this week. You got your boy capnblakk, you got your boy Jake, and you got the lovely Ashley as always. So we're here once again just to talk about a bunch of, whatever, and just have a little bit of fun with you. So tonight we're gonna get to know Jake a little bit better.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Head photographer for the magazine. We met this guy through word of mouth. He's been like one of the best things that's happened to Ryze-Up. So, we're real happy to have him on our team and whatnot. So we about to get to it. So Jake, I'm gonna ask you something first.
Go for it.
All right. How come it is? Yeah, you hear my language, right? How come it is that people be up in here thinking that they photographers with all these little, you know, filters and Instagrams and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. Tell us the real truth. Tell us what it is like to actually have to take a picture and then sit down with the real programs and then get it done. Like what is up with that?
Bro, you have no idea. We see that so much in the photography industry. Whether it's people getting the new iPhone or just going to Best Buy, picking up their camera. And, oh my goodness, I'm a professional photographer. No, you're not. Sit down. I've been doing this for 12 years now. And it's just one of those things that you've got to put the time in order to learn the craft, whether learning your camera settings, learning what filters do what. Because on actual cameras, if you're not familiar, you can use filters on the end of the lenses, not similar to like Instagram or Snapchat or anything, but you can get little screw on filters or drop down filters. So, but you have to learn what the gear does, how to use it, how to edit. That's the biggest thing. Like people, like I'll post a photo up and people will be like, "Oh my gosh, I want your camera." I'm like, "Do you know how to use the camera? Because I highly doubt it." It's like the same concept. I use it all the time. That's like giving someone a nice set of cookware, but they don't know how to cook, and they're going to expect a good meal to come out of it. If you don't know how to cook, you're not going to get a good meal. Same with photography. You've got to put the time in. You've got to learn how to, like I said, edit, shoot. Um, so yeah, it's not an easy process, but I've been doing it so long. You do get a workflow down. You find tips and tricks that make life easier for you. Everybody does things a little bit differently, so as long as you get from point A to point B, that's usually how it goes. So
So we saw recently that it was Sony that let you borrow a camera, right?
yeah, it was a lens from them. I'm part of the Sony Pro imaging support program. Basically, how it works is if you own enough of their gear and you're a professional photographer, you can actually apply to join, and they let you try out different gear if you want it. You can pretty much try out anything from their product line if you want to, but over a certain threshold, they get a little weird about it. But they actually let me
Mhm.
borrow their 400 millimeter. It's an f2.8 lens for all my photography nerds out there. Um, and they let me use it at the Rolex 24, and that's a $12,000 lens, not including the camera body, nothing else, just the lens. So I was just like coddling it like a little baby. I'm like, come on, little buddy, it's gonna be all right. We're not gonna break you. So that was
Beautiful photos, though.
thank you. I appreciate
Mhm.
that. I put a lot of work into my craft, so I take pride on it. Like I don't think I'm really good at much else, but
Yes, you are.
I'm hard on myself, but photography is one of those things that I've put in so much time and effort. But even still, I'm always learning. Like I'll never be at the point where I know everything, but I can always get better. So that's what I always try to do.
That's a great motto, especially for like younger audience if they're watching, to always keep trying and never give up.
Oh, for sure. And you'll see a lot in like older photographers, not to generalize, but a lot of photographers are older in their 40s,
Mhm.
50s, sometimes even older. And I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this, but they get complacent, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Not wanting to learn the newest trends, not wanting to evolve with their style. And then they start wondering why these younger guys are starting to make more moves on them. You've got to evolve. Like, even if I don't want to learn a new style, if I know that's the hot new style that I've got to learn to get jobs, I'm going to go out and do it. So it's just a matter of always evolving, always learning. That's always been my biggest motto. So just find a new YouTube video, learn something, even if it's not photography. Pick your favorite hobby, try to get better at what you do.
Yeah, I
So
like
you do, sorry, so you do race car, you do bands. What other type of photos do you do?
Yeah. I do like the main bill payers, real estate photography, honestly. I do that, model shoots here and there. It's not my bread and butter, but I can do it. But like you said, I started, yeah, over 12 years now doing band photography. Started little hole in the wall bars, just kind of shooting for my friends, doing a lot of free work. Unfortunately, there's still not a lot of money in concerts, even when you get up to the big time levels, unless you're actually with the band. So that's something a lot of people don't know. Um, I wish there was more money because we spend a lot of money on our gear, a lot of time and effort learning. But yeah, like you said, motorsports. I do love wildlife photography. I'll take my cameras out, go birding, throw on my safari hat, hit the Australian accent, be like, crikey, there's a nice pelican over there, and just shoot it. So anybody who knows me knows the Crocodile Done Jake skit. So yes, that does happen all the time, even when I'm not recording.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, dude. I can't lie. So outside of all of that, I know a lot of things like when I'm watching on YouTube, people have their own settings like automatically. Have you gotten to that point where you're just like, okay, I like this particular thing out of my for my personal style, or does it every time that you do a photography, you trying to do something different each and every time that you edit?
As far as editing goes, is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, so like let's say if there's a certain light that is used when you're doing concert photography. And I have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's say if it's light number A, that's the setting. You know what I'm saying that you're using in your program. Is that something that you continuously use, or each time you take a picture, you're always having to tweak, what you're doing during the edit?
Um, in the photography world, we call them presets. Basically, you can click a button and it'll move all the sliders and adjustments to that starting point. As you get more advanced, you can still use them, but it's just a starting point. So I'll hit it and take a look at the photo, be like, okay, this needs tweaked, this needs adjusted. This is good, so we'll leave that. But people get these presets, and the biggest mistake I see with them too is they'll just leave it, be like, oh, it doesn't look good. But I'm like, if you make these couple adjustments, it will look good. So it's not an end all be all, but it's definitely a good starting point. But with concert lighting too, that's the hardest thing, as you know. We get a lot of like harsh blue lights, red lights, no lights at all. That's one of them. So to get those natural skin tones when you're dealing with that harsh lighting, that's some of the hardest part of editing, in my opinion, because I'm like, oh, you look like a tomato. I've got to fix that. So that does get time consuming for sure, but there's ways around it in most circumstances, and that's where those presets definitely are helpful in speeding up the workflow.
All right, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that. So, I'm sure there's some examples of your work that we're about to see coming up real shortly in this video. But as we can continue to go on, one of the things I really thought was really impressive is there's a shot that you sent in, and who knows if we can't find it for the video, I'll definitely post it up somewhere and tag it once again. But there's a shot where you got a race car or one of the vehicles coming around, and like I know they're driving fast, but you like caught the rim without any blur. Like I was sitting there like, this is ridiculous, dude. Like it was unreal. Like, how do you find these ways to catch those kind of shots, man?
That's still a technique that I'm learning. I've only been doing motorsport photography for 3 years now. So there's actually a technique. It's called panning. And I actually learned this from one of my good buddies. His name's Mark. And he taught me this. Again, always go back to learning. And you can always learn something from somebody else. But basically, how it works is say that race car's coming here across the track. You want to take your camera and you want to basically plant your feet and you want to just rotate at the hips and follow the car. And as you're panning with the camera, you want to hit the shutter button to take the photo, but you don't want to like jerk your movement. You don't want to stop. You just want to keep a nice, smooth, fluid motion while you're taking the picture. And then it all comes down to camera settings too. For panning, you can usually get down to 1/100th of a second, 1/180 or 1/80th, 1/60th. You can get even slower than that. It's crazy, but if you do it right, the background's completely blown out. It looks like the car is going 200 miles an hour, and you can read the calipers of the brakes on the rims. It's the coolest thing ever. When it finally clicked, like how to do it, I was like, whoa, I'm like, I got to do more of this. So
Yeah, they're absolutely beautiful.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So yeah, I appreciate like the hard work that you put in, because you know you have came up with some very quality photos for the magazine. As you can see here and here, you've made some cover shots like this one over here. I like the one with Corey Taylor, like the one that's, you know,
Oh
this
yeah.
here. So
Yep.
I mean, you know, those are some of the like epic shots for me, and they just keep getting better and better and better and better. So you know, again, congratulations on your business, Jake Coughlin, you know, photography, and yo, I'm just real proud, and I feel
Me
real
too.
fortunate to be able to know you like that and work with you, bro. So, you know, I'm sure all the fans out there appreciate the work too, because they do look at the photos, that's for sure.
I definitely appreciate that. And more doors are going to continue to open. This thing has grown. I've been working here, what, 4 years now? Yeah, 4. And more doors are growing, whether it's sports, we're getting access to huge music opportunities. It's like looking back when I started, I'm like, there's no way I'll ever get to photograph that. And well, here we are. So it's kind of like I'm living a dream. Not the richest guy ever, but the opportunities are, I feel rich because of it. So
Are you happy though?
yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's cool. It's definitely cool. And I like to what I think I get the most happiness about is honestly is helping newer photographers grow now that I'm in a position to help. Because when I had to figure it out, that was like one of the things that I struggled the most with. A lot of people were kept their secrets gate kept. They would not share and help out. So if I meet somebody who's willing and determined like I was, and I can help them out in any way, I'm going to do it. So I don't want them to ever be stuck like how I felt. So,
That's awesome. It's awesome that you do that for them too. Because it is hard out there, like you say, you know, it's not just the bands, it's also photography.
oh, yeah,
It's really anything you're out there doing. It's hard to, it's a lot of people look at it as a competition when you should just be growing together.
exactly. Everybody's so competitive. Like, oh, you're going to
Mhm.
steal my business. I'm like, there's enough for all of us to go around. And so,
All right. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's how we represent. I mean, that's definitely rising up, dude. Like I said, ever since you've been here, you've done nothing but grow and grow and grow. And on top of that growth, you've also helped this company grow and grow and grow. We are internationally seen because of these photographs that you take, bro. People look all over the world, man. So I love it. I know we appreciate it. So, you know, thanks once again. Thanks once again.
absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to grow with you know, and like be with you on this journey because it's gonna be great for you. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the sky is the limit at this point. I'm like, we're at that point where we can, if we put effort into it, we can make it happen at this point. So I'm excited for it too.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Rise fam, as always, we keeping it real short. You know what I'm saying? We want to keep your attention, and we wanted to get to know Jake just a little bit more because he's a really important, you know, part of the Rise fam, just like Ashley and just like everybody else and all of you out there, you know, out there in YouTube land and Facebook land and Instagram land, whatever social media land you belong to. You know, we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? So getting to know us a little bit better. We got a couple more interviews coming up, and you'll soon be hearing more about our sponsor, you know, Von Payne Whiskey. We had a little bit something about them last week, so you're gonna be hearing a lot more about them as they working with us together. So we look forward, like we said, to continue to grow and you to continue to grow with us. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be seeing you guys soon. As we always say, y'all be safe, have a good time, be responsible, and we care for each and every one of y'all out there. So y'all take it easy. We'll holla.
See ya.